Good afternoon and welcome back to the Kerry Garden Show. Alan Finn here with you again in Boyles of Killorglin, and I'm joined by our gardening expert Miguel. Miguel, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How'd you get over the bank? It's a bank holiday weekend, of course. We've had Law Fail of Padraig yesterday. Did you get out in your green shamrock for St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, I had plenty of it.
Great. Well, we're not going to talk about shamrock today because I'm not sure if you're aware, Miguel, and I was made aware of this now as well by my mother-in-law, that St. Patrick's Day is very famously the ideal time to plant spuds.
It actually is, yeah.
Yeah, we're here in a lovely little potato section of Boyles of Killorglin, and we're going to talk about planting spuds. So, what is your knowledge of spuds? Now in Spain...
Very low.
Oh no, we need someone else.
So, in Spain we don't have, well, we probably have them, but people don't know anything about potatoes. So it's not such a thing as first early, second early, or main crop.
So you got a bit of an education when you came here, did you?
Yeah, I had to learn. I didn't have any other.
How many? You were telling me before. How many varieties are in Spain normally?
Well, it could be many, but you go to the supermarket and they don't say the variety. They just a bag of potatoes. So you just grab a bag of potatoes. What is there, no?
Yeah.
So this one is nice. When you go the next time, it's something different.
Okay.
And you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
But it's not the culture like here. There's plenty of different varieties, and blight-resistant varieties, early, first early, super first earlies.
That's it. But I guess you really do have, I suppose, a culture, because it has been a staple of the diet here in Ireland for many generations. So there and such, we have a large selection of potatoes. So, but you mentioned a very important thing as well too, is about the time of the year. So there is different ones that can be harvested. There's earlies, there's main crop, and there's late ones as well too. So
it will be basically three types. It will be the first early, the second early, and the main crop.
Okay.
And you have earliest in the first early, so it's shorter period, and same in second, same in main crop. So between 8 and 12 weeks, you could have, depending on the variety, you could have ready the first earlies. 12 to 16 weeks, the second early, and 16 to 20, 22, 20, well, depending on the main crop, you'll have them ready.
Okay.
And the first early and sometimes the second early are, as they are very early, they don't need blight treatment.
Okay.
They are not, the blight shouldn't be here yet.
All right.
But the main crop are the most affected to the blight.
Okay, so is it kind of, the blight comes as the weather gets warmer? Is that the
warmer
main thing?
And the warm and humidity.
Yeah,
the humidity is a perfect environment. When it's 20 and 80, 90% humidity, is a perfect environment for everything.
Okay.
For all the fungus.
So with the earlies and the second earlies, you won't need to treat them with blight, or do you still?
The first earlies, you shouldn't need treating them.
Okay.
The second early, it depends on the year, and it depends on how early is the second early. You could be needing a treatment.
Yeah.
But definitely, unless you're planting blight-resistant varieties, you're going to need to treat it against the blight, the main crop.
Okay, the main crop.
The main crop.
Okay. So right now, here we are in the middle of March. What should people be getting out and, setting out their beds and their rows? And would we be looking at the polytunnel? Are we talking about in the garden? What's the best sort of environment for it?
We are talking about, well, you can put it in the polytunnel, but I will say it's a waste of space, because you're going to need that for summer.
Of course,
summer fruit, or like, I don't know, peppers or tomatoes, vegetables. And the humidity and the heat could be affecting as well the potatoes. So I would say put it outside.
Right.
And the thing is, if depending on the depth you're planting, you're going to need to heal them. The problem with the potatoes is that if they are exposed to the sun, they could be poisonous. So they need to be always covered.
Okay.
So what you could do is digging a 16, 20 inches depth trench, put it a little bit of soil on top, put in the plants, and then as they start growing, you start covering. It's called healing.
Yeah.
The more you cover, the more potatoes you should have, and the more protected they should be.
So it doesn't matter how deep they go down.
No,
you don't really put them too deep. Is it? It's
no,
more.
You can't put them too deep.
Okay. So what's the average, the depth that you should kind of put them at?
So it's two ways. If you are not going to heal, you can put them around 8 10 inches deep.
Okay.
If you're gonna heal, you can put them slightly shallower, like 4 or 6 inches deep, and then you start covering with.
And that's the common way most people, I suppose, would who are kind of doing gardens are doing vegetables for a long time.
That would be probably the right thing to do.
Because I guess at the moment, Miguel, just obviously with the climate that we're in, I don't mean the actual weather, but just even people are looking to become more sustainable. So there could be a lot of people out there who are deciding for the very first time, do you know what? I'm going to try and plant potatoes. So what would be the easiest way for someone starting out?
So if you don't have a very big area, or even if you don't have any, you could use, for example, these fellas. That's a very easy thing, or even the bags.
What we've got
that
here?
That would be for small little crops.
So this is called a potato pot, right? So for those listening on the radio, it makes it easier to grow your own potatoes. Okay, so this is great.
This is basically 2 buckets, one inside of the other.
Okay.
And the one that is inside
has got just 3 big holes on the sides.
So when you plant this, to put it inside, but when you are going to crop, especially in the new one, the first earlies, you can keep them in the ground for a long time, till the end of the summer. They will be all right.
Yeah.
So you can have a few plants here, and when you're gonna get the potato just lifted,
you can literally just pull out the potatoes.
Pull out the potatoes.
And you're not disrupting much at all.
No, you're just grabbing 1 or 2 and you just leave the other ones.
Okay, so this could be someone for very, very simple. And I see as well.
For a small little place or for a family, just for the kids to see how it
all works. Yeah, wow.
You can use the same. It's a jute potato bag. It's the same principle. So you will be opening this.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of a flap here at the front. Flap here at the front that you open up. Okay, so you fill this. You fill this with just regular compost or soil or what
compost,
type of?
A regular compost, not extremely rich.
Okay.
Not very poor.
Yeah.
Just a regular multi-purpose.
And you'll be putting your potatoes then your 8 to 10 inches down in the bag.
Yeah, it's around 8 inches here.
Okay. Yeah, and then after, as you said, depending on the type of
Depending on the type of potatoes, the right time of cropping is different. So the first early, when the flowers are gone, is when you can start cropping them. Okay. While the main crop, you have to wait till the plant wilts. So it's not the flower, till the vines start wilting, and then you have to wait a few days before you crop them, and then you have to cure them as well for a few days, while the first early, you can eat them immediately. Away.
So when you say cure them, you mean just to put them in the shade in kind of a
in a dry
area?
Dry, ventilated area, not warm, just dry, cool, ventilated area for a few days, for a week, 10 days, and they should be ready.
Okay. While the earlies, you said
you can straight away eat them.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic.
So they normally have thinner skin. The first early have a very thin skin, while the main crop have a thicker skin. The rooster ones, the ones that are normally bigger as well. While the first early, you can get smaller potatoes.
Okay.
It depends on how long you leave them on the ground, actually.
Okay. So how many different varieties do you actually have here, Miguel?
Well, we have a good few. As you can see, we have around 12 or...
Yeah, you got your Maris Vipers, your Records, your Kerr Pinks, your Roosters, your Caras.
Cara and Sarpamira, or Myra, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it with my lovely Spanish accent.
Spanish accent, yeah.
Because they are blight-resistant varieties.
Okay.
So if you're looking for main crop that are blight-resistant, you can go for Cara or Sarpamira.
Okay.
The other ones are not that resistant, so you should be treating them.
Treating them, yeah. And at what point do you treat them? When they've kind of sprouted up and
they need to have leaves, obviously, before you treat them. But when you need to start the treatment, the plant should be well established.
Oh, okay, right, excellent.
And that's it. You should just follow the instructions, and it's a fungicide basically.
It doesn't affect anything about the taste or anything about the potato.
No. It's a preventive thing basically. It's not a very strong thing. It's just more preventive. The industrial ones you probably need a license for treating them.
Okay.
These ones are commercial ones.
Commercial ones, just for the home.
people,
Yeah. So as I said, a lot of people are looking at that whole idea of being more self-sustainable and having potatoes in the garden and doing that sort of stuff. So it's great. I also have 2 little bags of onions.
Yeah,
old
little
onions.
onions. Yeah.
These are lovely little things. Now we have the red onion and we have the white onion.
White onion.
So are these again something nice and handy to grow?
Very easy to grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, they're sprouting already.
They are even in the bag.
As easy.
Yeah.
So just 1 inch deep and a couple inches, 3 inches between them. 4 inches.
Yeah.
4 inches space and 1 inch depth.
Okay.
Uh,
And how do they work in with, say, potatoes? Could you put, have your row potatoes and have your onions beside it? Yeah.
You can. They want. Just the thing is that the potatoes will grow bigger.
Yeah.
So you
They
probably
need a lot of
want
space.
to. Yeah, you probably want to separate them from the onions because we will be shading them probably.
Okay. Yeah. True.
But it's no problem to interlock them. Just make them
Enough so they can get enough
you
sunlight.
can play
Yeah.
as much as you want with this.
Excellent.
And they are exceptionally easy to grow. And they just water them every now and then, and they will like the potatoes. They will give you between 8 and 10. You will have a good few.
And anyone as well too, Miguel, who had a crop last year, do they need to do anything to the soil, dig it out or kind of freshen it up, or just because nutrients can be kind of drained out, can't they?
You should enrich your soil every year, and I will recommend manure. Manure is an excellent soil enricher, and you add it every year. Mix it with the soil, and it should be perfect. You shouldn't need anything else.
Okay.
Basically, if you manage well with it's for everything actually. Manure could be good for lawn, for everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And it enriches the soil, gives a lot of organic matter, nitrogen, and it's very good for the growth.
Okay. Excellent. So listen, if anyone's out there and has got their spuds down and is really proud of how their garden looks, do remember to send us in a photograph of what your garden is looking like, your little veg patch and what's coming up, because we'd love to see it here on the Kerry Garden Show with Miguel. Right, that's all it is for spuds. In just a moment now, we are going to talk about planting some seeds. Okay, so Miguel, now we're going to talk about planting some seeds, because again, it is the perfect time to do it, and it's also a great way of getting the family involved and maybe kids interested in gardening and just having some stuff even on your windowsill. Isn't that right?
That's it. It's very correct. It says here, that's a trick I was taught when I was a little kid in school.
Yeah.
They used to make us germinate runner beans or chickpeas in glasses.
And that's just some cotton buds inside,
exactly,
isn't it?
some cotton buds inside. Keep it moist, cover it, and they should be germinating in a couple of days.
Okay.
The kids will be seeing how they sprout, how they grow.
Yeah.
And with the glass, they grow sideways, looking for the light, and you can just see them. And this is spectacular because they grow in a couple of days. They will have a few more leaves, and then you can just transplant them straight away. You don't need to get rid of the cotton. The roots will go through the cotton.
Oh, through the cotton.
Yeah, and you can.
So
just
you would
plant
actually
them
transplant the cotton and all into, say, something like one of these fiber root pots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, or into a bigger pot in case of the.
Oh, getting bigger.
Of the beans. If you're gonna, so the good thing of the beans germinate really easily, and they grow everywhere. So you can just transplant them straight away into the last pot.
Yeah.
Or put them on the ground after.
That's fascinating. It's
yeah,
amazing.
it is very nice and easy.
Lots of schools and
very
things like
nice
that could probably get involved in things like that. Wouldn't it? It's very easy.
That should be shown in every school.
Every school.
Because it's very interesting. You see how nature works.
Yeah.
How they sprout, how they germinate, how they start developing leaves, and then you just easily transplant them.
And kids love to see that sort of stuff.
Exactly, and that gets into this work,
Yeah, so we've also got a little tray here that you prepared for us, specially.
Well, I prepared them for me.
For you? Myself, okay, all right. Okay, I was going to take
Those are the tomatoes I'm planning to grow in the polytunnel.
Okay.
And I germinated 3 varieties. You can see 2 of the seeds didn't germinate here.
Okay.
Don't know exactly why. They shouldn't have 100%. They normally, if it's very good seed and you're very good, you should expect around 90% of germination ratio.
Okay.
Probably these seeds have a little bit. The older the seeds, the less germination rate you have.
Okay.
And the more time it takes to start germinating as well.
I guess
So
again
that
we'll
could be coming in
Yeah.
a couple of days.
We'll go again back to what your first point. Quality does count.
Yeah,
so
it
if you
does.
go into like a discount store and buy seeds
Yeah.
and they don't work, there's a
You
reason
will-
for
You
it.
shouldn't expect more than 50-40%
Okay.
germination rate in these no very good quality seeds.
Yeah.
They're probably old seeds.
But in a garden center, you definitely get a 90%.
You should have.
Okay.
And you have the date on the back of the envelope. So
Mm-hmm.
you should check the due date
Yeah,
when they are supposed to be.
planted.
Hmm?
So we have 3 varieties here.
We have 3 different varieties of 3 different tomatoes. One
Yeah.
Marmand, one beef, and another cherry.
Okay, right.
And I just put them in my window, covered them with the plastic, keep them moist, and here they go.
Yeah.
Now I'll bring them here to the polytunnel in a few days. and leave
Excellent.
them
So
growing.
it's a nice. It's important to start all the seeds like that.
Well, it depends on what you're planting.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a seed tray if you're going to plant cabbage or
Lettuce.
You can spread them in the tray and then separate them and put them in.
I have to say, I tried last year, and I'm going to make an admission here. I
can see
tried
that,
to
I
do it
can
last year, and Miguel, I'm trying to separate them. I found it so difficult.
Because you
they
did
were-
it too late.
Probably.
Yeah,
I
you
probably
did
did
it
it
too
too
late,
late.
yeah.
Yeah. So
You
there you
did it
go.
too late.
So we might try and keep tabs on things, because you said you are going to transplant these to the polytunnel as well too. So we'll have another view at them a little later. But right now,
What I'll do with these fellas is when the roots are colonized and they have at least 2 or 3 real leaves, because these are the cotyledons, these one are not real leaves.
okay.
Then they will start developing real leaves. When all this is colonized and you can pull the plug,
Yeah.
they like transplanting. So I will transplant them to maybe slightly bigger, a 10 centimeter or this pot.
Yeah.
And then again, when you see the roots under, is normally the
Next
right
stage.
time white, and then you put it into the last pot, or you can do a second transplanting. Tomatoes, they like transplanting.
Okay, they do. Right.
So when the roots are all around the pot,
Yeah.
and you put it in a new pot, they just kind of explode looking for
Are
it.
they very hungry? Is it because they like
They
the
are.
nutrition and they need a lot of
They
stuff
are.
to drive them? Is that it?
All the annuals,
Yeah.
like tomatoes, or not only vegetables, but just annual plants like petunias, they have an explosive growth.
Okay.
So they need loads of food.
Yeah. And you just have regular. We have like the Jack's Magic.
Jack Magic
compost
is,
in there. Is that what you just
yes, Jack Magic is actually a very fine grade compost, very good for seedling. I don't like, that's a personal opinion.
have? Yeah.
I don't really like this seedling compost. I find it too thick for some plants.
Okay.
So
So
that's
it
why
needs
I
to be kind of
use,
nice and fine.
I find it better for germinator, for the roots to start
Yeah,
getting
getting
colonizing the pot. I find better this Jack Magic. It's a very fine grade compost, and is multi-purpose, but is very good because of the fine grade.
Okay.
So what you need is something. See, this one is different because that's for showing purposes. So I fill it with the compost that we have there for trees.
Okay. So
And
they've got a
see-
little bit of clumps.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's very good for the trees, but it won't be very good for seedling, especially for
For
small
vegetables.
seeds.
Okay.
For small seeds, the smaller the seed, the finer the grade of the compost.
Okay. And you have a lot of varieties of tomato. I see them all here. You
Well-
mentioned kind of the beef and the cherry. This is a beef steak one, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Wow, it's a massive one. And then you've got your sweet aperitif. There's a little
That's a cherry one.
cherry ones. Lovely. That's another beef tomato, isn't it?
That's a burlex. That's a marmande.
Oh, that's the
basically.
Marmande.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one of the
a
ones you
different
planted.
set.
They're very big. They're very big.
They're very big.
Yeah, gourmand, yeah, and then a crimson blush. So there's lots of different options for people. They're easy to grow though.
Yeah.
If you kind of keep transplanting and looking after them.
So the thing is, it will be just for information purposes only, all right?
Yeah.
It will be 3 kind of different types of seeds. Will be the very small seeds, the medium seeds like tomatoes or
Okay.
something like that, and the larger seeds like broad beans or beans.
Okay.
So these very small little like poppies or anthuriums,
Okay.
they don't even need to be covered with soil. You can scatter them on top of the seedling tray the seed tray or on top of the cells.
Yeah.
And you don't need to do anything. They will germinate by themselves. In fact, they don't like being covered.
Okay.
They could not germinate
Yeah.
if you just push them too much.
Antherinums. So they
Antherinums,
actually, they
poppies,
go on the top, poppies.
Very small seeds. They normally don't need to be buried in soil.
Okay.
Then you go to the second type, will be your tomatoes, for example.
Okay.
That is a smaller seed, a small seed, but not as small as the antherinums.
Yeah.
They need to be buried a little bit, just to cover them with a very thin layer of soil. That should be enough to start the germination.
Okay.
You need to bury them
Right.
a little bit because they need to develop roots before they start getting out. If not, they will be growing very thin, very leggy.
Yeah.
And then you go to the beans. The beans, they need to go two, three times deeper than their size.
And we've got some peas as well too. Would they be similar?
Similar.
Yeah,
similar.
peas,
A little
peas
bit
and
deeper.
beans. Yeah. Wow.
You can use a tray, you can use cells, or you can use just as I do, germinating in my glass, so I can see it every day.
And as you said, it brings back fond memories of a childhood.
It's actually very nice seeing how they change every day.
Yeah.
Even during the day they change. So if you just, I just kind of love these things because it's a miracle. You know? So for a small dry bean that has been there for ages, you just put a little bit of water and they just react. It's just like a
nature.
It's magic, actually, you know.
Just before we finish up, how often then would you have to water these, Miguel?
Well, I have this underneath to give a little bit of height.
Yeah.
But see, we can use this now.
Yeah.
And I use the sprayer, right?
Okay, a little spray.
When they are before I plant them, I spray well.
Okay.
And then what I will do in case of the tomatoes, for example, I will be putting, we have one open around here, no? See, it's quite easy. What I do is just I put one seed, well, it's actually one only, so.
Okay.
So I put it on top, and I keep going, not doing anything,
so you
till
spread one in each one.
And then see, with a very thin stick,
little thin stick, then you're just
pushing
it down very, very gently.
Very gently and cover it.
And small, just very,
just
very
patch
low.
it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it, all you need. Then you put it in with your cover to avoid the moist to leave, so create like a small little greenhouse.
Yeah.
Every time you see that it's drying, it shouldn't be drying actually, because if you have it covered, now the roots are not consuming very loads of water.
Okay.
So, but you use the spray. You try not to spray directly onto the leaves.
Okay.
They should be all right anyway if you spray.
They're well watered, but for anyone else, you get around the base and just kind of a little squirt just at the base of the plant.
If it's not sunny, it's okay. If it's sunny, it basically creates kind of loop effect. So that drop will be magnifying the effect of the sunlight, and will be creating will be scorching the leaf if it's sunny. If it's clouded, you can just normally.
Okay. So basically, you kind of check it every couple of days just to make sure that it hasn't dried out. And obviously, if it's wet, it'll be kind of heavy. If it's a little bit light, it'll have dried out and just given us a little squirt.
You don't want it waterlogged.
Yeah. Okay.
You want the perfect amount of moisture, and you're going to be looking at them every day, no matter what, because if you're planting them, you're going to check them every day to see how they look.
You'd think that, unlike me last year, but these things happen. A little bit of trial and error. Okay, listen, Miguel, thanks very much. That's very informative on seeds and also potatoes here on the Kerry Garden Show. Thanks very much for everybody for listening, and do remember, keep sending in some photographs of any little seedlings that you guys have planted, or in fact your potato plants, and we'd love to see them here on the Kerry Garden Show. From myself, Miguel, and everyone here at Boyles, we'll talk to you next week. Happy gardening.